uploading your paperback or your ebook to Amazon. Now I'm actually uploading a paperback right now, Wicked Vows, my discreet edition. So I am going to upload that. I'm going to show you exactly what I put and how I put it. I'm not always as worried about paperback metadata as I am with my ebook metadata. So that'll definitely be another story. Got a windstorm going on outside. It's crazy. So when you go to your KDV publishing page, you're going to press create. And then you're going to put the one that you're going to want. It's going to ask you what you want to create. And I'm going to press paperback. And that's going to bring you here. Now, obviously, everything is going to be empty when you do that. So it's automatically going to populate that the primary language of your book is written in English. If it's not, go ahead and change that. So I'm doing a discrete edition. And when you do a discrete, if you're doing a second edition to your book that has a different cover, which is allowed by Amazon standards, it has to have a separate cover, and then you want to label it special edition or discrete edition. Then you're going to want to use that as your subtitle. So my book title is Wicked Vows, and then I put discrete edition. Now, this is different from how I do name my normal books, because I have taken to, when I name my normal books, like this one is Cruel Vows, a dark mafia forced marriage, which is actually going to get changed here. And it's going to become more like this one, which is Shadow Revelations, Ava and Matthias. And that's what and something like this, Kenzo and Eveline's story. So that people can understand that these are separate books in a series, especially with my Dashkov crime family. The first two books are duets, or is a duet, and then it's interconnected standalones from there. So that's just personally how I name my books. I really liked the way that Katharina Mara did hers. And so I took a page from her book and did it that way. But with my paperbacks, I'm not usually as picky, so it's just Wicked Vows. It's the discrete edition, and I can show you how you can link it. I haven't been able to find out how to link it in other formats yet, but I'm getting there. It's a progress. So I actually end up linking it in my A+ content instead. So here in series as optional, I like to keep them all together so they're not out there flying on their own. So I create a Sovereign Brotherhood special editions, and that's what puts the books together for the discrete edition. So they don't have to kind of go looking. I want to make sure that I am making this easy for my readers, so then that those who do want a discrete edition and don't want a normal paperback, they can easily find it. Edition number if you have another edition, and then my author name, obviously Joe McCall. Any contributors, I only do this when I do narrators. I don't do this for cover designs or anything like that unless like there's something really specific that I think readers are going to want to, like, I want this person on the cover. Obviously, then my description here. One thing I also did start doing is I put some of the tropes at the top. This is an all new enemies to lovers, forced marriage, mafia romance. And so I don't hide what I do. And then I do say, this book is dark and unconventional, contains themes that not everyone will like. Please check author's notes. I own the copyright and I hold necessary publishing rights, versus this is in the public domain. So like if you were doing like a Pooh Bear one or something that had Pooh Bear, or something that's already in the public domain, then this is where it would go. I don't have any sexually explicit images or titles. And then I always put my reading age as 18. So that it doesn't get put into YA categories or anything that is going to get me booted because it got into the wrong category and got reported. And then my primary marketplace for this book, which is Amazon.com. So then you have your categories. Amazon only allows you to choose 3 categories now, and you can only rank in 3 categories. I honestly picked the ones, so this one is a billionaire and millionaires, it's enemies to lover, and it's mafia romance. But you have to kind of decide what subcategories you want to put it in. Then your keywords. When I think of keywords, I think of what are what are readers going to put in when in the search bar? And these are kind of what I came up with. So you get 7 of them. They can be changed later on. You can change the data, which is nice. And then I'm putting publication date and release date are the same day, but because I had an error message, I actually had to go back and fix that. And then you can schedule book releases now for paperbacks, but again, because I did it yesterday and it got denied because of an oopsie, then it's just saying that I want to release my book now, which I do. Saving. Saving. All right, paperback content. I did try to add my own ISBN number on this one because I changed the data on my ISBNs. It wasn't recognizing it. I just did a free KDP ISBN. I will go fix that later when I put it wide. Black and white interior is going to be usually what you want. I always do white paper because I do dark backgrounds for most of my Mafia books. White paper is going to be the best. If you do cream paper, it's going to turn out to look more grayish than black. And then here you're going to select the different sizes for your books. Make sure it's the proper one. You can actually even now self-define your trim size, which is pretty cool, but these are the most popular ones. I'm doing 5x8. If you have any photos at all, even if you only have like the header image, right? Like you just did the header image and it's like a little picture underneath the POV or before your POV, you need to select bleed. Any type of pictures, whether they go to the edge or not, needs to have bleed. That could be a problem in printing if you select no bleed. I like matte paperbacks, so I'm selecting matte. That's completely up to you. I don't like the way glossy paperbacks are made. I prefer the matte look. Again, that's just based off content. And then you're going to upload your manuscript. It's going to take a minute. Then you're going to upload your cover. It's going to take a minute. You're going to say no, you didn't use any AI generated tools. And then you're going to launch your previewer, which is also going to take a minute. I'll hold. Let's see how long this takes. Oh, it didn't take that long. I wonder if it's because I opened it already. So this is what the previewer is going to look like. Now you can see here, there are no selected issues. That does not mean that there is not something wrong with your book necessarily. I just went through this. But I'm always checking my cover to make sure none of these words are outside of the lines. Making sure my barcode is proper and everything like that. And then I literally start for page 1 if you have something like this. So what happened was I didn't have any issues here. However, I forgot to check the first page. My Joe McCall name was actually all the way down here outside of the cut lines. I'm also making sure everything is at least semi in the middle with the book. And so that could end up being an issue. So always check if you have like a photo like this in the front, just double check to make sure that everything that you made is inside these lines right here. And actually, funnily, for the most part in Canva, if you go to Canva, for a lot of them, it actually has, it's not going to show in this one. There's actually like a kind of like a purple thing that will appear here that you can kind of see. Keep it in that and you usually are pretty good. And then, like doing your, all of this and all of this and all of this and all of this. And then I just double check like the first one, make sure, okay, it all looks good. Check like a page, like a white page, just to kind of double check. I feel like these could probably be a little wider and I could adjust the inside margin, and then I just go to thumbnail, and what I'm making with thumbnails, I make sure there's no blank pages where they're not supposed to be. That's more common in when you're doing it like in Microsoft Word, right? Or you're inserting your own images somewhere where you have like the double, and then like sometimes you measured it wrong. It used to be a big thing when I was doing it in like Adobe Illustrator, or not Illustrator, InDesign. So I'm just double checking everything to make sure that there aren't any blank pages except for the ones that are meant to be there. And then I'm going to select approve. Some of the biggest issues that people have are honestly going to be with their trim lines. And a couple of those things are going to be, and I'll show you here, um, are going to be um, right here on the inside margin. Now, I probably could have brought my inside margin down to 0.75, and that would have been just fine. I honestly just don't want to. And so this here, this outside margin is completely auto. It's autoed based off of the size of your font, the size of your line spacing, and how many pages that you have. I do not mess with this. This is where it's going to get you. Because if you have it too short, and a lot of people always have it right here, but the more pages you have, the more you have to increase this. I keep it at 0.875 2.75, and that usually is pretty decent for most page counts. And then again, it's still, including bleed, um, only if necessary, what the bleed margin is, and it's going to tell you which ones are used by which images, page numbering. So just be aware of that. And then it's going to tell me how much it costs to print my book, which is $3.95, because my book is only 246 pages. And it's only 246 pages because I only did a one-page chapter. All right. And then for paperback rights and pricing, all territories, worldwide rights is really honestly where you're going to want to put it. You don't want to do individual territories unless you really don't want your book sold somewhere. And then it's going to come to pricing. I price my paperbacks at about $15.99 for almost all of my paperbacks, unless it's a novella. I think the only one that isn't, it's usually based off of how much my printing cost is. My Shattered Revelations book and my Shattered Pieces book actually cost more because it costs more to print. I'm not trying to make a crap ton of money and like make this $20. And so I it's it. Expanded distribution. I do not select this. One, it's only 40% because you are like their expanded distribution is like basically adding it to large distributors that may add their book to your content. So basically libraries, universities, booksellers, things like that. However, Amazon, if your paperback is not selling, Amazon can drop the price of your paperback and not pay you the royalty rate that you're supposed to be getting. They will pay, like, it sucks. They will drop the price of your paperback. They can even up the price of your paperback and don't have to pay you the proper royalty rate. I never do this. It is not worth it, in my opinion. If I want to be expanded, I will go to Ingram or somewhere else that is not here. It is not worth it, in my opinion. You lose a lot of control over the pricing of your book. So don't do it. Because the next thing you're going to know, if it's not pushing and it's not selling, they're going to up the price and to a price that nobody's going to buy it anyways. And they're going to up the price because they're basically paying Ingram, by the way. That's who they're paying to do these books and the expanded distribution. And so because they have to pay Ingram more in order to expand your distribution, if they're not making money off of this price, they're going to up it, and then they're going to keep that extra royalty rate. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Keep your 60%, go to Ingram, and get your books there. This is going to tell you, obviously, how much it's going to be in every other country. You can adjust them in those countries. So, like, it's $25.13 in Australian dollars to print it. So it just, you can change it based off of it. And then terms and conditions, it can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase on Amazon. You confirm that you agree with KDP's clients. And then you can also request a proof. I do not need one, so I'm going to publish my paperback, and boom. It's saved. It's done. Now you're just going to wait for them to either deny it and say, boo you made something wrong. Or say, congratulations, it's published. And that is it. So if you guys have any questions, that was just a quick overview of uploading your paperback. Always feel free to leave a comment in the message below or email me. And thank you guys again, and I'll see you in 2025.